Okay.
She's in there singing. Okay, I wonder if he made me a host. No, he didn't. If you can hear me, make me a host. I am the host now. Wow. Send me $1 million.
Poof.
Yeah, we heard you the whole time. Everybody heard you singing.
Who's all on there?
Well, you can see who's on there. See, $1 million. Brett cares. We have $1 million coming.
That's awesome.
Okay, honey, I'm actually training tonight, so you can't be looming.
Okay.
Ow. Ah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna get into it. No, she doesn't know how much, and you keep that little bit to yourself. Gosh, how rude. Okay, I did not make a PowerPoint tonight. I just didn't. So we're just gonna go with it. You might want a piece of paper to write some stuff down. I don't think this one's gonna be very long, but I'll just tell you now that the challenge at the end is going to be to make to schedule event in the next 2 weeks. And this coincides with the incentive that's coming up. So perfect timing. Okay, so here we go. We're going to talk about what, why, and how to hold live events. I will tell you that my first 6 months in Isogenics, 4.5 of those I was building to executive, but they were filled with events. We did several a week. We did them around the dining room table. We did them in my living room. We did them at my mom's bar. She owned a bar at the time. We did several events. It is the way that we built and the way that we built quickly, because we would do events and like we would host them and somebody would be there and they would sign up and they would bring friends, and so they would become a consultant. And so it's really hard to get to executive, right? Because you got to stay active. You got to have 10 consultants, 5 on each side, all be active at the same time. And we did it in 4.5 months, not because I'm amazing, because of the events. That's the way that we did it. And we did a lot of them in August. So you can't say that you can't build in the summertime, because about this time 4 years ago, I wasn't sure if I wanted to share the business. I was a consultant, but I didn't really share with too many people. It was in August that we started to bust it out. And I remember I had a big week. I had 9 enrollments in 1 week. That was like my biggest so far. Of course, the salon ladies do that in 3 days. But anyway, so holding events is important. If you want to move and you want to move fast, I want to recommend them. And this is perfect timing, because people do want to get together now. You know, a year ago, they didn't want to get together, but now people are like fiending to touch you and see you, and they just love it. And they're even going to hug you. So it's perfect timing. It's an excuse for people to get together. So we're going to talk about, again, the what, the why, the how, and then I'm going to give you guys some tips. Okay. So what is a live event? It's an opportunity to tell more people about Isogenics. Takes 60 to 90 minutes. And what makes an event is if you have 2 or more people there. That's it. That's what it is. Why you do them is because it creates energy and excitement. It's time-effective way to talk to 2 people or more at the same time. And it's a teaching tool for business builders. Because if Terry comes to me and says, Carla, I want to become a manager, then I'm gonna say, okay, Terry, let's hold some events. Let's hold 2 events. You know, one for you and so-and-so who wants to be a consultant, and one for you and so-and-so who wants to be a consultant. So that's 2 events. And I'm going to hold those for her, and I'm going to be the presenter, and I'm going to lead them, and she's going to watch me, and now she knows what to do. So I only have to help her twice. And then she's got it. So that's another reason, right? It's a good way for me to teach Terry. This also keeps your lingo strong. If you noticed, maybe you noticed last year, you fell out of what to say or how to talk to people about Isogenics because you weren't doing it on a regular basis. I'm in a B&I group and we meet every single week, so I don't fall out of my lingo. But if you're not doing that, you know, if you're not talking to people once a week or more about it, you'll fall out of your lingo. You will forget what to say. You'll be better if you do more events. Your first couple, you might drive home and be like, shit, I forgot this, I forgot that, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. But you won't next time. You always get better. So it's good for yourself too. This is also another reason to do these. It's a great way to support local businesses. So think about it. I like to hold them here in my house, but I still think people are kind of weirded out about coming to homes. I still think they kind of are. So I'm not going to like push them to be at my house. So we'll go to a coffee shop. We'll hold them at salons. And even before college, I held them at people's salons, like we did in after hours, like a sip and sample at the salon. We did those. So think about places you can do it at the gym. We've held them like after a fitness class. So everybody comes to the group fitness class, and then afterwards we're going to talk about isogenics. So it's a way to build up these other businesses. Everybody's buying a coffee at the coffee shop, even a restaurant. I don't recommend restaurants too much because then you feel like maybe you have to buy appetizers, but any place that serves, good drinks, semi-healthy drinks, tea, coffee, that kind of thing I think it's perfect to do it. Or you can even hold them at a park. Tea and coffee, people drink tea. Ionics is tea, okay? Ionics is tea.
When was the last time you drank tea or coffee at an event?
I drink tea and coffee every day. Okay. Anyway, and it's a way to create consultants. We talked about that when I used the Terry example. Live events are a way to create consultants because chances are, you're going to have a couple people sign up and they'll make that person who's hosting it a consultant. And it's also a way to support keeping consultants because, you're trying to build to be a director or executive, and your people cannot sign up just 2 people and stay a consultant for you to get to that next rank advancement. It's not going to work. They're going to fall out. And that really stinks when they fall out. So they need to enroll more than 2 people, so that live events support it. If your goal, if you want to build and make money with isogenics, should be to create a culture of live events. And it has to start with you. You have to be the one to lead the way. You can't just tell people to hold a live event. Create that culture. That is what we did. We held them, once a week, 3 times a month. We were constantly holding events until the crazy pandemic. So now we're getting back into it. Okay, so here's how you do it. So first of all, here's the 3 things. You're going to book it, promote it, and remind. As you can see, what I didn't say anything in there is set it up, make it look pretty, and figure out all your stuff to bring. Please do not make that your focus on what to bring. That doesn't need to be your focus. You need to book it, you need to promote it, and you need to remind people about it. Those are the 3 things that you need to focus on. Don't worry about what to bring. It's not complicated. So how I do an event is I make 2 things of hydrate. You can get clear pictures. They have like Walmart or some little store like that has like $5 or $6 things with the little spout at the bottom. And so I make those, the little spout. Did I see that? So don't do the whole jug, but do like half the jug and fill it with hydrate. I always do blue because it's pretty, and then I always do orange because that's pretty. Lemon lime is not a pretty, like it looks like pea. So don't do lemon lime. I'm just saying, do blue raspberry and orange, and it'll really stick out. Also, coconut doesn't look pretty either. You can have it there if you want, but the two colors that you want to show in the glass picture are those 2. And so when people walk in, like the first thing, they come into an event, the first thing they see, and you have to clear this with the coffee shop if you have it at a coffee shop, is they see these pictures. And so if Brent was walking in, I would say, hey, okay, so you are greeting. I would say, hey, hi, who are you? And he would say, I'm Brent Shaw. Someone said I could learn about how to get healthy here. And I say, great, welcome, Brent. So which hydrate would you like, orange or blue? orange or blue raspberry. And then he tells me and I give it to him. And he says, what is this while he's drinking? Usually that happens. What is this while they're drinking? So I say, it's an electrolyte drink. We call it Hydrate, and it helps with electrolytes, and there's B vitamins in there, and you're really going to love it. And if we're at a bar, then I would say you should order some vodka and water, and you can dump it in there. And then everybody laughs, but everybody always tries that. But I give everybody a Hydrate. I don't go into too many details about it. And then if there's time, I might say to Brent, so you're here to get healthy. You already look pretty fit. So what's the scoop? What are you here to find out about? And then, he might say, well, I've got this wrinkle in the middle of my forehead right here because I always am looking at people like this. And so it's just like there. And I heard this thing about collagen. So I want to find out about that. And so I, as the greeter, have a little card and I'm writing down Brent, collagen, wrinkles. He doesn't necessarily need to know I did that. I just write it down, and on he goes. And then I continue to greet other people. You need to know why people are there. Okay. So please don't forget that part of the event. You have to write that stuff down. Next thing is, you'll decide this ahead of time, but your event could be more social or it could include a presentation. So, or you can do a combo of both. I personally like to do the combo of both. So I like to make it very social, and I kind of facilitate where people should talk to. So if I had Todd at an event and somebody walked in and like, I need to lose 100 pounds, then I would, I'd write that down, like Bob needs to lose 100 pounds. And then I'd send Bob off with his Hydrate. And then when Todd walks in, I'm like, Todd, Bob, 100 pounds, get over there. So this is another thing I want to tell you guys is that you should always have other people at your event that are on your team. It's like if you're doing an event for somebody on the left side of the tree or your right side of the tree, you need to invite people that are building in that downline as well. They need to come and support. This is a very important thing that they will see and understand maybe later, but they need to go and they're willing, but invite them because they can help you do the talking to the people of their certain health goals. If you're going to do a presentation type thing, I want to caution you on that because your story is important to you, but not to every single person there. So if you're going to do a presentation that's going to last 45 minutes, make sure it's pertinent to what you wrote down on the sheet of all the people that said what their health goals are. I like doing the presentations because I like to talk, but I don't think that they always serve the purpose of the people that are there. So I prefer to do social gathering with once in a while, maybe like 15 minutes in, I would say, hey, you guys, the question that I'd love for you guys to talk to the person you're sitting next to is, if you're willing, share with them what your health struggles are and see if they have the same thing going on and what have they tried. Let's talk about that for a while, and then you kind of hop around and you kind of talk to people and you're standing, near your table. People will come over. You might have to grab some people over. The last time I did an event at a salon, I was like, hey guys, I'm ready to pass out the collagen. Who wants some? And they literally lined up. They just lined up. So I had the little things of the collagen. I poured them in these little clear shot glasses and everybody got to try some. And then as it happened, they were standing around the table, and that's when I launched into what the collagen was about. But I went like 5 minutes. I just went like 5 minutes just talking about it. I wanted to keep it social and fun, and I wanted to keep the people that were there in the downline able to kind of hop around and socialize a little bit. Okay, some things that you can take to your event to just some things that you can take is you can take some empty containers of some products. I have set up a 30-day pack, what it looks like, everything's empty. So if you haven't started saving some empty containers or bags, you could do that, kind of set up what the 30-day pack looks like. I've taken 6 boxes of the collagen elixir. Empty, take them empty, otherwise it's way too heavy. but I do 6 boxes because I stack them up like a pyramid. And I'm like, this is $203. All of this is 60 doses, just, visual is important. So I do save boxes and do all of that. The other reason to take the empty things is because some people like to look at the nutrition facts. And you know what? And if they start to ask you questions like, does it have this? Does it have this? What you could say is tell them what you know, of course, and then say, you know what? One of the reasons I brought this bag of whole blend with me is so that you could read it for yourself and see what's in it. Here it is. And then they can like read it. I don't like to do shakes, samples at events because first and second time trying a shake, people do not like it. I also do not like to do ionics at events. Now, I have heard that people have done ionics at events, and by the end of the presentation, the folks that tried it are like, ooh, I feel great. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, you decide how you want to do it, but most people I know try ionics the first time and they don't like it.
No.
So I don't like to share ionics. I do hydrate, I do via and collagen, depending on the situation. I don't always do collagen, but those are the ones I do. Sometimes I will cut up a bar into little things to chop it up. And I will serve those in the cupcake, the cupcake paper cups. So you could get like the muffin pan. I forgot the name of the pan. The muffin pan, put the cupcake containers in there. And then you can like mix up some whey thins and mix up some protein bars and put them all in there. If you want to be fancy like that, go for it. I do not like to do that because number one, I usually run out of time. Number two, it's not duplicatable. If I have a new person that I'm trying to get to hold events, it's not duplicatable to do all of that. But as the leader, I would give somebody a sip and sample pack, and it would have a protein bar, a couple Bias, a few sticks of hydrate, and be like, here's everything you need for your sip and sample. Sit around the coffee shop table, go. I would be very willing to do that for anybody on my team or mail it to them. I have brought the little cleanse juice bottles also. I've handed those out, but that's because I get those for free. So that's another thing that is possibly duplicatable if the person is enrolling. But just think about that. Like, you don't want to go overboard for yourself or for the people that are there training. I do take a catalog, but I don't set it out because I don't want anybody to take it. But if somebody's like, I'd like to sit on my couch and look at a catalog, I'm like, I'll send you a link. And they say, I'm old school, I need the catalog. I'm like, so then I'll give it to them. And it has my name really big in a black Sharpie on it. And it says Carla's. And they have to give that back to me. Because I don't like having the catalogs out there. I also don't think that's duplicatable, because how are you going to get a catalog if you're a brand new associate? You have to order it. And they're $50. They're expensive. They're like, I forgot what I paid, but with shipping, it was like $50 for 10 catalogs. And I was like, phew. So I don't think that that's duplicatable. But a notebook, I got my little binder, and I always take this. And I've had this from the beginning. I mean, look at my sister. This is all people's before and after pictures. Whoops. I got the same binder I've always taken. And I just set it out and I open it up to the best looking before and after picture I have, which is usually Sherry Burton, because she's so pretty. So I just set that out, and sometimes people flip through it and sometimes they don't. I also have been taking the collagen presentation. If you can figure out how to get your presentation on a loop, then it just sits there on the table and people will kind of hover around it and they'll watch the progress pictures that go through. I think that's a great thing to take to like a social event. If you're going to stop and do a presentation, then you're going to want to close it, My whole point of an event is to help people understand how Isagenix can help them, but I really do want the event to feel very non-pressure, and I want it to be fun because I remember the first event I went to, and yes, I had to sit through Mandy Martin, this guy named Brent Shaw, and Todd Ferguson talking. What you guys all know who those guys are. And I was like, but they didn't talk long. They were like 15 minutes each, and they shifted out, there's different people there talking. And then the rest of the time it was social. And I could ask questions. I asked everybody a question, and I ate some food and talked. And then me and Jason talked, and it was very relaxed. There was nobody said, "Are you going to sign up right now?" Nobody said that to me. I know they did not ask the question. They let me go. Somebody followed up. But I want to have that same experience for people, because too often the network marketers get a bad rap. Like I remember going to an Amway presentation, and they got out the flip chart, and they were like, you gotta sign up today, and they drew all the circles and did all the things. And I was like, like, we don't want that. We don't want that. That's not what our environment is. Okay, here's some tips. First tip is everybody, when they come and when they arrive, they have them check in. I have a little piece of paper that says, thanks for being here. And if Brent was my first guest, I asked him, which hydrate do you want? What are you here for? What kind of health goals are you looking for? And then, hey, Brent, make sure that you sign in. Right here, it's right here. And make sure that they sign in. And what you want from them is their first name, their cell phone, and their email address. We'll go back to that. I do think it's kind of fun to have door prizes. So the reason I do a door prize, and I usually do a shaker cup with all the stuff in it, but the reason I do a door prize is because that's an opportunity for me to say, hey, everybody, I'm going to have a door prize drawing. Pay attention to me. I'm going to maybe pick your name. And so I have their attention because they think they might win. But before I draw the winner, I'll give a little spiel about an incentive, or did everybody have a chance to try the collagen or whatever. And then I'll draw the winner. But it's an excuse for me to grab their attention. So I do a door prize. I mentioned this, but I want to say it again. Make sure that you invite people on your team. The most effective conversations from my salon events, especially the collagen, come from the personal testimonies from the people that are users, but not sellers. Like I look like the seller, right? I'm the product rep to everybody there. But if Susie, who's just so-and-so's friend, and they just decided to come for the champagne, starts coming in and talking about the collagen, that's a different level of testimony. So invite customers, invite people. You might have to bribe them with something, but definitely invite them. Have the people attending invite other people. So when I do my follow-ups and my reminders, I was like, Michelle, so you're coming Thursday night at 6 o'clock, right? Yes, I am. Awesome. Who are you bringing with you? And she's like, what? I'm supposed to bring people? I'm allowed to bring people? So that's what they think. They think that they're not allowed to bring anybody. So don't ask, are you bringing somebody? Ask, who are you bringing? And then Michelle might need some help. Like, how about your mom? How about your sister? How about your boyfriend's sister? How about your neighbor? Who can you bring? I'd really love it if you could bring 2 people. Actually, if you can bring 2 people, I'll give you an extra entry drawing into our little door prize that we're doing. Whatever you got to say, but you want her to bring a couple people, because you are not going to get Michelle to sign up that night, but her girlfriends are going to be like, let's do this together. Let's all do this. So that's why you want to do it right there, is because they'll have that accountability. Oh, don't just look at your calendar and say, oh, I'm not doing anything next Wednesday. I guess I'm going to do it then. Don't do that, because that sets you up for failure and no shows. So if I was going to do an event with Terry, I would be like, Terry, call your friend who's interested and see what day of the week next week they're available. So she calls, and Susie Q is available on Thursday at 6 o'clock. And I'm like, Terry, for sure is she available? Yes. Great. That's when we're going to do it. So you get 1 or 2 people to say, yes, I will be there. That's your launch pad for the event. Don't pick the date yourself. Get people to commit first, and then you start inviting other people. Does that make sense? Okay. Ask everyone to bring 2 friends. I said that. Provide samples, don't go overboard. It's really fun to pick a theme and be specific. I like to do collagen and conversation. Healthy happy hour. I really like to do that one because that's intriguing, right? Health and well-being, you know, anything like that. Just try to do like a little theme. Promote it personally. Don't just post it and pray. Do not create a Facebook event and invite 100 people. Don't do that. You know, if Susie Q, Terry's friend, is like, this is the day I can come, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a Facebook event. I'm going to invite you to it right now. I'm also going to make a graphic, and I want you to text that graphic out to everybody. And you can go ahead and invite them to the Facebook event. I do not feel like Facebook events are as effective as they used to be. I think you just, even a personal text, which you might have to write and say, send this out to everybody, Terry. The next text I send you is what I need you to send to everybody. And then you can type it out or insert a graphic. You type it for them. Please do that. Don't just say, Terry, invite everybody. You type it out. I know I said that 3 times. I just think it's important because if you do it, they're going to feel obligated to send it out. You're like, oh shit, Carla just did all that work for me. I got to invite them. Keep it casual, no pressure. Do not book it out a month in advance. You do not need to do that. This is not a candle party. They don't need a month. People don't know what they're doing in the next month, but they do know what they're doing within the next week. So 2 to 5 days is plenty. People know what they're doing Friday night. So if I call and say, Diana, can you be at the sip and sample Friday night that I'm doing? So-and-so's already committed to being there and I really want to have a successful one. Can you come? She can look at her calendar and say yes right now because she knows what she's doing. If I say next Friday, she doesn't know what she's doing and she doesn't want to commit to an isogenics event. That's not important for her. You know what I'm saying? So I like to book them 2 to 5 days out. Be duplicatable. Oh, and give out your phone number, whether it be on a business card or you go around and whatever, give out your phone number and just say, if anyone has any weird questions that they don't want to ask in public right now, you can text me. And then give out your phone number because people will want to ask you about something embarrassing like poop. I can't poop. Well, they're not going to want to say that in the presentation, but they're going to want to talk to you about it. You guys are laughing because you guys know that's true. And then if you hold an event and you don't follow up with everybody, it's a fail. It's a straight up fail. And you just wasted your time and energy and money. So if you have no intention of following up, then you shouldn't hold an event because it doesn't, I'm telling you, it doesn't work. If somebody hadn't followed up with me, I would not be here today. So please follow up. Please get their phone numbers, give out your phone number and follow up the next day. And you can let them know that before they take off. You could say, hey, everybody, I have your phone numbers. Just so you know, I'm going to text you and see what you thought about tonight. I'm looking for some feedback. So please don't leave me on red. Don't ghost me. And then, you know, you have that relationship and you have opened up the door and you can have conversations. And that's probably where you're going to get them to sign up. I wouldn't even try to sign up anybody the night of the event. Unless somebody's like, I want to do it, then I don't know. You know, you have to kind of gauge it. Okay, how does that sound? Does this sound doable? Does it sound too loosey-goosey? Does it sound easy? What do you guys think?
I think it sounds easy.
Yeah, I think it sounds great. You know, I come from Pampered Chef and everything was in person. So I think that's the hardest thing for me. I've been having a hard time connecting to people online instead of in person. So I think I'm ready to get back into the in-person thing. So that's
Yeah.
great.
Brent and I were just talking like, I'm like, I feel kind of feel like I'm in a funk, you know.
Yeah.
I've only enrolled like 5 people this month and I'm just like, oh, and I think it's the events.
Yeah, I 100%. Ready.
So, and if you can create the culture and get that going again, without the 65-minute Pampered Chef presentation, Jen, we don't want to do that.
100%. Oh my
Candle
gosh, I don't
parties
have to
with
cook
the-
anything. I don't have to do anything.
You don't have to clean up the dishes when you get home.
They're gonna lug all that shit with me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I always was like, Why would you be a paper chef lady? Because I thought about the dishes afterwards
Oh, it's always so
Thought
much
about
fun.
cooking.
and the cooking, yeah.
And the cooking. I love to
Yeah.
cook, so it was easy for me, but
Carla would have to bring Jason.
I would definitely have to bring Jason. 100%.
it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? You can use that. You've been to a pampered
Yes.
chef party of mine. This is not a 60-minute pampered chef party. This is a social sip and sample, baby.
Amen. Amen.
BYOV, bring your own vodka.
So much easier. And better for you.
Chime in on a couple things is.
Okay, go ahead.
One, Carla, great job on that because you hit on some really great points. And that is something a lot of people don't think about. 3 or more people, right? That's really your goal. And one of the things she said, and I just would recommend that you take it one step further, and that is when people check in, if you will give them something to write something down on, and sometime during the presentation, something that would pick out like the different packs, right? Base pack, medium pack, value pack, right? And then I always said this, and I said it all the time on our events, is which one of these, if you were going to start today, would you choose? Right? Because that gives you an idea of where they're thinking. And then you collect that back when you're done. So that the people who leave that don't pick anything, which most people won't pick anything, honestly, at a sip and sample. Some people will, but a lot of them won't. And then when they don't, then you have a reason to follow back up with them. Hey, I saw that you were interested in the value pack. What made you not start last night? Well, I had to talk to my spouse, blah, 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 blah. Okay, what has come from that, right? So, but that gives you a reason to follow up, okay? And again, the biggest thing that we offer is the community. So talking about the community, talking about the 11-day shred, no matter what day of the month it is, you can always say 11-day shred starts the first Monday of the month. And that gives you a reason to follow up with them on that, right? That's a big, big boost. And then the other is that, and I always do this at all the presentations, is at the end of my presentation, I always said, this is what happens if you bring in 2 people. I don't go, I used to go through the whole thing. I used to go through more of it, but as time moved on, I went to directly just to, if you bring in 2 people, it's basically going to cover the majority of your pack.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that way it gave them something to think about, right? If you bring 2 people, blah, 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 right? So those are probably the 2 biggest things. Oh, and the last one, if you're going to tell them it's an hour, your presentation needs to be not more than 30 to 45 minutes of that hour. Because if your presentation is the entire hour, they're saying, look, it's 7 to 8, it's 8 o'clock, I got to go. If it's 7 to 8 and your presentation is over at 7:30, then they've already made place for the 30 minutes worth of chit chat that needs to take place for the purchase to happen, right? You need to give room for the purchase to happen. If you don't give room for the purchase to happen, then they're going to be like, oh shit, it's 8 o'clock. I had my babysitter until 8:15. I got to go. Right. And then you're still bumping your gums, telling about your story of whatever. And they're going, yeah, that's great. It's awesome. I'd love to have that, but I got to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I was I still am. I'm a huge proponent of like the 30 to 35 minute presentation.
Yep.
Okay. It's kind of the same reason we dropped this, one of the similar reasons that we dropped these calls down so much shorter.
Yeah. That's all gold. That's all good. And just remember your crowd, you don't talk weight loss to the estheticians. And, this, I mean, you can touch on, we have other products, but, just cater to your people, cater to what their needs are there. Sometimes your story doesn't match what they need to hear.
Cool.
Love
Last thing I'll offer, since as wrapping up here, and I appreciate Carla's doing this. Everybody that's on here, you guys all probably saw Carla offered $50 for your sip and sample. Everybody that's on the call gets 100. So do your sip and sample, follow the rules, and you get 100 instead of the 50. So, but follow the rules, do them as they're shown, but That's the incentive. That's the value of jumping on the team call. So thank you guys for being on the call.
Terry, let's go.
Yeah,
Just find that one person. You guys, see if you guys can find the one person tomorrow that can be the launch pad for the event.
can do.
Okay.
Thanks, Brent.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So you guys want to hear my back and forth right now that I'm doing?
Yeah.
So this is a person that I met. Tracy and I met them in Rocky Point. His response to me, my message was, because here's what happened. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Well, I'll leave it. I'll leave the recording. So you guys saw I posted the pictures of the storm. I saw
Yeah.
that I got a ton of follows out of that. Ton of follows, ton of shares, lots of comments on that. What does that mean? Algorithms are way up. So I immediately posted a big thing that I usually don't post big things like that about isogenics, but I post a big post on isogenics. So I just got a message from this guy that I met in Rocky Point. Hey brother, what kind of program are you in? I need to shed some pounds for my next trip. So I said, how was your trip back? I'd love to get you dialed into the nutrition. I've got a ton of cops. He's a cop. I've got a ton of cops and retired guys who use it. It was great, a bit long. Great. I'd like to know more. I'd like to know some more regarding the nutrition and supplements. And then I just asked, are you looking for something just to add? Are you looking for a system, or are you looking for something just to add to what you're doing now? I generally recommend a system for the first 30 to 60 days to get you towards your goal. Most men will drop around 20 pounds the first month if weight loss is your goal. I know weight loss is his goal. I met him.
Because you met him.
Yeah. In reality, I want to lose 40 pounds. Totally doable. All the 30-day packs have the same base. This is a copy and paste that I have. All the 30-day packs have the same base. 56 meals, 4 cleanse intermittent fasting days, a metabolism booster, and a sleep digestive support. The basic is just that. The medium pack is the base plus some great snacking supplies. Then the value pack is everything plus a full month supply. Price points are $280, $380, $580. No strings or requirements, no other requirements, and no strings attached. And then I said, we can jump on a Zoom call to go over if you want more details. That's awesome. Can we chat tomorrow at 6 p.m. if that's cool? He gave me a cell phone. We're done.
Awesome.
Right?
Nice.
You're not, and like I say, I know this guy from drinking tequila with him. Right? That's it. Literally, that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
But how did you get him to be your Facebook
and his
friend?
brother-in-law hit on Tracy, which is a whole other story. Totally hit on her, like big time. So it's kind of funny.
Dang. But how did you get him to be your Facebook friend?
I friended him in the pool.
Like, you asked him, do you want to be my friend? in the
Yeah, I said,
pool?
hey, are you on Facebook? He
Super.
goes, yeah. I said, you mind if I send you a friend request? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. See, it's
That's
not weird.
No, not weird.
2 guys in the
Part of
pool.
it-
Do you want to be my friend? Yeah.
Part of it was the cop thing, obviously, right? He's a sheriff's deputy, so I knew him from that. Or I know him through, I had that connection with him. But Tracy was talking to his wife, and so they were friends, and blah 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 blah. They become friends, and well, again, here I'll tell you another funny one. Hang on, I got to stop the recording now.